Good morning from Geneva. Welcome to this Insight and ID session. We're very, very privileged this morning to have with us Minister Mohammad Gergawi. He's the Minister of Cabinet Affairs in the United Emirates, UAE. And we know that UAE has been a leader for many years when it comes to innovation, entrepreneurship, and the competitiveness of UAE is quite incredible. They have built a new structure. They are a hub for innovation, and they used to have one of the busiest airports in the world. So, Minister Gergawi, great to see you. And we know that UAE has also, of course, been in the middle of the struggle with this pandemic. We're not out of the woods yet. I heard that you have personally also now taken the vaccine. We know that business is back now in UAE, but we all have to pivot in this situation. And last year, when we met in Dubai, where you were also an incredible, important part of the Global Future Council meeting, you said that we have to collaborate more in the world because a lot of the challenges that we are met with are common challenges. And look at COVID. COVID anywhere is everywhere. And do you see this collaboration happening in the world? No. And what kind of collaboration do we need? Welcome.
Thank you, Borge. Thank you for having me, and thank you for the World Economic Forum for engaging us. This is our third meeting, actually, with you. I think it is a critical time in a human history. Whatever had happened, a lot of country, a lot of government, a lot of people actually didn't grasp it yet. A turning point in human history. Early on, we've seen country looking inward, actually. So it was for them survival, to the point that they were hijacking, medicine and other medical equipment. I think if we don't work together, this issue will continue for generations. From vaccine distribution, we know, when Pfizer was announced, Emirates Airlines, they decided that they're going to be a logistic hub, for example, to distribute vaccine. 2, global economy. We need to open up more gradually. We need to share information. This is a very critical time in a human history. This is the way I look at COVID-19. It's not only COVID-19, it is humanity actually at risk if we didn't deal with the situation, with the matter. If you look at even the vaccine itself today, if we don't work together, we are having inequality during this, this time. We see the richer really got rich. So there is inequality that happened, but the most dangerous thing that we might see inequality in vaccine distribution, which is something that we need to work together. What we did really from early on, as a nation, believe that as the Emirates, we are a nation who have also a mission. We're not perfect, but always we look forward. One thing we did, we decided that we shouldn't look only inward, we have to work together. From the beginning, there is shortage in medicine and masks. We sent actually medical equipment to over 100 countries. In a difficult time when nobody was flying, so we transfer our fleet to be a cargo for medical. And I think country will be evaluated in the future and their resilience, not resilience internally, but how they work together to fight a pandemic that didn't discriminate between color, religion, country, anybody. Everybody was in it together, so we need to sort it together. Within our region, I think so, situation was a bit different. Certain countries, they have the capability, other close early. We were working together, we're sharing information. We look at the world at one, and we are getting out of it gradually. Certain sectors fine, life it's there. The most important thing that we find out that maybe we didn't have a lot of cases, the country was almost open because we had a vaccine that everybody talked about early on, which is the mask. Everybody in the country had a discipline, actually, everybody, in wearing masks everywhere. And I think this is one, it's very simple, but very important. Now the situation is changing with the vaccine, and I think next year, hopefully, globally, regionally, we'll see a better impact in all of us, and hopefully business will move on.
How many, I'm just curious, how fast will you now roll out the vaccine in the UAE? When do you expect to have vaccinated the most vulnerable and also all your population?
From now on, we started actually. We started with the front line almost from the summer. I took today my second vaccine. So I'm one of the people who took the vaccine, plus so many ministers that we believe that we need to be part of this journey as a human journey.
And you feel okay after the vaccine?
I feel fine. The first one was 3 weeks ago, Borge, and I have a lot of call because it was in the media. So I have friends, family calling. There is, if we look at the social media, there's so many, theory about vaccine. But today we know that COVID will stay. And the only way out of COVID is wearing mask and vaccine. And the vaccine that, there is different variety of vaccine. You have to decide which one you'll take. And we don't know all the information about the vaccine in the world, but hopefully by the end of next year, it's going to be clear which one you can take for a longer period, how often you need to take, the antibody and other issue. So our plan really, it is people can vaccine, they can go right now. There is center where you can go and take the vaccine from now on.
So, no, thank you for sharing that. I think we're already for the vaccination and also looking beyond also the COVID, but being better prepared and more resilient in the future. In the middle of the whole pandemic, you were also able to take some very substantial policy initiatives from the UAE. For example, the Abraham Accord was one of them. How do you expect the Abraham Accord to play out now in the months to come? And how do you see UAE leadership in the global cooperation that is now needed, and also with the changing political landscape that we are, for example, seeing in the US?
First of all, I think if you look at why Abrahamic Accord, if you look at the region, Borge, for the past 70 years, we went through 5 major wars. It cost the region $11 trillion. Millions of people have died. You have 10 million refugees. So the region tried war, and the result been negative in the region. It is very important in this era and for the future generation that we have to be responsible. The region tried war, didn't work. We are trying to develop the region through peace. It's a bold initiative that took place, and we believe that we have a responsibility toward our region, toward our future generation, and toward the world. Unfortunately, if we look at our region, hatred been created, radicalism, extreme ideology. Not only the region has suffered, but also it was exported globally from radical ideology. We suffer, the region suffer, and also globally, the Paris incident. A couple of weeks it was in Austria. So to understand why we are doing whatever we are doing, we don't do it for ourselves. We do it because this is the right thing morally to do. And this is how you develop the region. And I think it is time to give a peace a chance. The region have to try full peace for peace. We had the peace agreement before. It was, a transactional peace agreement. This is peace for peace. And very important for all of us, for the global community, to make sure that it will work. And for people to see the economic value, cultural value, and the world have to create example out of this peace agreement. I think this is our responsibility as a humanity. The region got tired of war. We've seen in the past 8 years, look at our region, didn't develop. It went back with every generation. So if we continue that path, religious fraction, civil war, ethnic cleansing will continue.
Thank you so much, and also for reminding us all the humanitarian challenges, but also the human suffering that we have seen from the different conflicts. $3 trillion lost, millions of refugees. But if you look now at some of the crises in the Middle East, I'm thinking about the situation in Yemen, I'm thinking about the situation in Libya. I'm thinking about the situation in Syria. We also know that it is very difficult still in Iraq, and we don't have a solution on the relationship with Iran. And there is also tension inside the GCC. Where are you most optimistic for kind of a fast solution to peace? Because there has been positive developments now in the negotiations on Libya. There's maybe some movement also on Syria on the new constitution. And in Yemen, there is also really sincere negotiations going on. We will see how the Biden administration will then look at the Iranian situation. But we know that you're so close to this and you're in the middle of all this. So it would be great to have your insight.
I am optimistic. I think it's time for peace for the whole region. But the most important thing, let me forget, look at the question from different angle. Why we have an issue in Yemen, why we have an issue in Libya, why we have an issue in Iraq and other places. The region was mismanaged. Mismanaged because a lot of government in the region, actually, they didn't know how to manage. You had failed state. And that's to my first point. That's why peace is very important. We have a lot of failed state. And these countries had failed in managing the affair of a citizen, their economy, social life, cultural life, and a lot of countries took people backward. So that's why very important for all of us to create a system that not only a peace agreement, but also a system where government can govern in a way that prosperity will come back to this region or will export our issue to other countries globally. This is a very important point, I think. So whenever we do, yes, a peace agreement can be there tomorrow. But again, if you have another failed state in Yemen, the same issue will continue. So I think we need to have a track of really how do you uplift also government in the region.
No, thank you so much. We know that you made this Abraham Accord was decided in the middle of the summer, but also in July, you did a major reshuffle of your cabinet. You got younger people in, you also have very exciting portfolios. You have, I think you're the only country that has like a minister for artificial intelligence. You have also underlined now the importance of enhancing digitalization, but we also see a slowing of global growth. It has also impact from the UAE. So based on this new government and new ministers, and also the way forward, where will you see changes in the policies on economics and innovation and all this from the UAE? Or is it steady as she goes, but with some new people in the cabinet?
We change because it's time to change. It was COVID, and we understand that we have to reinvent ourselves. Government been operating globally with the same system for the past 200 years. And I think old style of government will fail globally also. And we are seeing the issue. We're seeing social and economic issue globally. For us, it was a time of opportunity. And I call COVID is fast forward. COVID for us is fast forward. Things have to go quite fast compared to the time of pre-COVID. What we did actually, we downsized the government. We were realistic, and even our portfolio, as you stated, we have a minister, his job is really looking at distant learning, telemedicine, distant work, and because this is the future, this is the norm. And for government not to act from now, it's failure. So for us, people looked at us and said, oh no, this is interesting. It's not. This is fact. This is life. This is what we do, you and I, right now. This is what our kid actually is distant learning. They're at home. Because we have a system, we have somebody who's looking at the system, and this is the new norm. This is how we'll work in the future. Certain government are aware, the majority are not aware of what will happen in the future. So for us, it is also being realistic, not dreamy, very realistic, because reality have changed. And when it comes to economy, the system globally have changed. Your logistics system have changed. Your e-commerce have accelerated. Your retail, you need to look at it from a different perspective. It's a new life actually. A new social life, a new economic life, and also, if you look at United States election, it's a new political life. We are in a new era. We need to adjust to it, but also, I believe there is opportunity for countries that move on. The gap will be huge, by the way. If we didn't move as a nation or as a government, we lag behind. Today, also, country have opportunity. I told you, we downsize the government. The importance of government is it will be much more than before. COVID, globally managed by government. COVID showed us also when government and politician doesn't look at the healthcare system, they fail. And the system fail. And their economy fail. And they'll have a social issue within their society. So it is a good stress test for government globally, for politicians. And with us, we decided that we need to move fast. As you said, it's fast forward. We need to be agile, and we need to give people what people want and what's important for them. Was before we had economy, before politics, as His Highness Sheikh Mohammad stated. Then he said during COVID, it is actually health, economy, then politics, who will carry everybody.
Well, thank you so much. We also, together, we inaugurated the Fourth Industrial Revolution Center, affiliated center in Dubai. The World Economic Forum has its main center, as many of you maybe know, in San Francisco, but we have affiliated centers. And the first one was opened in Dubai. Now we have 8 of them, and we will very soon have 10 of them. I'm thinking about how much do you discuss in the cabinet the fact that success in the future will be based on how far you have come to implement the new technologies. Those most powerful nations and most successful also when it comes to prosperity this century will be those that are on top of big data, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and all this. So I where do you think the UAE stands today? Are you happy on where you stand? Where would you like to be in a decade? Do you see yourself as the new Silicon Valley of the Middle East? And where are you today? And you think you will get there?
When it comes to technology, Borge, we need to understand now it's actually we live in the first second of the first minute of the first hours of the first day of the first year when it comes to technology. Technology just have started. That's why this time period is very important in a human history. So this is just the beginning. And the gap in the next 30 years, it wouldn't be 30 years between country that embrace technology and country that don't embrace. It will be in hundreds of years. The gap actually. The economic gap, the knowledge gap within society. For us, we believe that we have a mission. One mission is really how do we give hope for young talent within our region? This is very important for us. As we stated, we decided that, for us as a nation, we need to be a nation with a mission in life. As human have mission, company have a mission. As a country, we have a mission in life. Mission is not to look only internally, to look at our region, to give hope for young kids, to be a pillar for this region from its misery. This is important for all of us. That's why we wake up every morning, we work long hours, because there is a mission in life for all of us here. When it comes to technology, I think we are very much in the forefront of technology. We embrace technology. We have a Minister of Artificial Intelligence for distant learning, from telemedicine, plus so many other. Because we believe that if we didn't do that, we'll lag behind. So in government, I'll give you two examples. A lot of countries closed school actually during COVID. For us, we started digital schooling 10 years ago. We were open through the whole thing. We had exam, student learn, but we didn't stop there. Last week, His Honor Sheikh Mohammad announced digital school actually. So we took the whole system, improving it, and we'll start in refugees camp because refugee from Syria been losing, kids. They lost 2, 3, 4 years of no education. So for us, how do we do whatever we have and take it regionally than take it globally? And that's what we do with technology. Technology is not a luxury. Technology, it is how do you dismantle knowledge to humanity. This is the importance of technology. How do you fight extremism? Through the right knowledge. Either they win or we win. For us, as you state, it's a state of mind that we need to improve life of kids in this region and also give them hope. And that's why when you look at a lot of survey, the majority of young Middle Eastern, they want to come to the Emirates because it's equal opportunity. You can create a company like a person I know, Ronaldo Mshahwar, he's a Syrian from Aleppo. He started a company called Souk.com, which is Amazon bought it for hundreds of millions. This is equal opportunity. Maybe in other country in the Middle East, he have to be a partner with somebody influential, maybe corruption wouldn't allow them. Here we gave him the opportunity. Uber bought a company called Kareem, local company for $3 billion. And it was made for people, international people, not even Emirati. So this is the opportunity. This is technology. Technology is creating opportunity for people. For us, technology is unleashing human potential within our region. And this is the way I look at whatever we do. And as a government, as I stated, we believe that technology will make us move fast forward, even in our mission in life.
No, thank you so much, Minister Gergawi, Excellency. I think this is such a good note to end on. Such a vision for the future, and I know that the young people in the UAE is also very excited about the space mission that you have launched. It's inspired a lot of young people to really dig deep into also natural sciences. Thank you for sharing with us today your vision for peace in the region, instead of using trillions of US dollars on fighting each other, creating extremism, refugees. Thank you also for your leadership on technologies, and also giving opportunities to people in the region. I just saw that Sheikh Mohammed, the ruler of Dubai, launched this new golden visas for people for 10 years that want to stay in the UAE if they contribute. Thank you also for being such a close collaborator and a friend of the World Economic Forum, His Excellency Minister Mohammad Al Gergawi of the UAE. Thank you so much. Shukran.
Thank you, Borge. Thank you. See you.